looking for power excessively is bound to be a demagogue. Is bound to be a megalomaniac. He is bound to be a despot and a tyrant.
Handshake na BBI ilikuja ili ipatie inchi peace, tranquility and stability, ili Jubilee ambaye yeye ni moja yao wafanye kazi maendeleo yao kwa hii mwaka 5. Lakini when you run ahead of the global calendar, tukiwa 2018, 2019, wewe ulikuwa 2022, mtafanya kazi namna gani Jubilee?
All right, so that is one Senator James Orengo, who is the minority leader at the Senate, and one Junet Mohammed, who is the minority whip at the National Assembly. And of course, they are talking about one William Ruto. And I want to raise this question with you. This political suspicion, and of course you hear the Deputy President now sending Raila Odinga to the President. What are we dealing with as we approach the 2022 succession, which is in about 18 months?
We're dealing with a lot of dishonesty. People who have been having it nice when they visit State House and plan things that will benefit them, plan about BBI, plan about removing members of Jubilee, loyal members of Jubilee from their party parliamentary positions, that was okay. Now the reality has checked in that even after removing those people from positions, the popularity of the handshake and the BBI still went down further. So it is now time for the campaigns to begin for the presidency in 2022. There is no lying that William Ruto is ahead. And these people are just playing catch-up. So the person to try and demonize and try and pull down is one William Ruto. And I think we're up to the task. But we want to tell them, you've heard what Junet has just said there, that the handshake was meant to bring in peace and tranquility. I think it is a mistake. The handshake was a mistake from the beginning, because we should not be seen to be rewarding people who have consistently refused to accept election results. We should not be seen to be rewarding people who have resorted to violence when they are defeated, instead of having just being gentlemen and accepting election results and accepting that IEBC is an independent institution. So this handshake was a mistake from the beginning, and that is why it has run into problems. Up to now, it has never gained traction. And I think ODM have realized it. Now they want to exit. They don't want to be seen to be attacking Uhuru Kenyatta, so the best fallback position is to attack William Ruto. But it is a known thing that they told us, now we are in government, we are the ones in control, William Ruto is no longer in government, so let them attack. If they really have anything to say, let them talk to President Uhuru, because they are frequent visitors to State House. Let them not go there for handouts or for the deals that they go and get there, and chasing tenders. Let them go and discuss the issues that they're telling us in public, in private, with President Uhuru Kenyatta.
And I want us to listen to some of the leaders that spoke during that meeting that one DP Ruto held in Nairobi. I believe it was in Dagoretti South. They spoke yesterday at length. I want us to listen to what they were talking about. That is one Rigathi Gachagua and so many other politicians that accompany the Deputy President.
Kama hii gari ya Jubilee imeharibika, William Ruto ni makanga, gari iko na driver. Gari ikiingia kwa mtaro, ni driver anaulizwa ama ni makanga? Ni driver ama ni makanga? Sasa huyu William Ruto ni makanga kwa gari. Kama gari unaona imeingia kwa mtaro, unauliza yeye nini?
Right, and that is the distancing we've been talking about. I don't know whether we have Tim Wanyonyi, the Member of Parliament for Westlands. And good morning, Honorable Wanyonyi. And of course, you've been listening to the different voices coming from the two political factions. Now, Raila Odinga, your party leader, says that the Jubilee administration has failed Kenyans and DP Ruto is answerable. What is this? Because we have always known that Raila Odinga and President have been treating each other like brothers. What are we coming to at this point in time?
I think if you look, yesterday I saw when in the news, you put two different footage at one point where the deputy president was saying that if anything goes wrong in Jubilee, then it is the president and him who are answerable to it. I don't know where it changed that now. It has to be Raila Odinga to be answered. As far as I'm concerned, those two positions have never changed. The deputy president is still the deputy president of Kenya, and the President Uhuru Kenyatta is still the president. So the two are in government, and they are the ones who are supposed to be answerable. Raila Odinga is in the opposition, and he has never taken any position in the government. As far as they want to align him to the government or blame him for the problems that are there in the Jubilee. Jubilee's problem is, as far as I'm concerned, is Uhuru's succession, and they are playing it in the wrong way. I'm very sure that if the deputy president looks back and assess what they have done as a government, he is still the principal assistant of the president. He still enjoys everything about being in government. He sits in the cabinet. Raila does not sit in the cabinet. So responsibility of government is a collective responsibility that they should take without pointing fingers somewhere else. We are not part of government. Raila is not in the government, but the PBI is not even a program of the government. It is something about trying to bring change, which is supported by the government, and I don't think that is the position that we are going to take.
Right, and how do you reconcile the fact that now Raila Odinga is, what is he coming to? Because we see ODM trying to reorganize itself ahead of 2022 election. So when he is now speaking against the Jubilee administration, is it just part of the strategy to prepare himself to ensuring that he doesn't appear like part of the incumbency, but also to cut his own image?
Because the section of Jubilee are blaming him for their failure. And I think as a party leader who heads a party that is not in government, he has to come out clear and tell Kenyans that he is not part of government, and let the government carry its own cross. It's not about Raila Odinga. Raila does not sit in the cabinet to influence some of those decisions made by the cabinet. So them trying to point the fingers at this direction, I think they're just missing the point, and also taking advantage. And I'm very sure if you remove Raila Odinga in the equation, that problem will still be there. And anybody else can point it. Any other opposition leader, you have heard even Honorable Musalia Mudavadi speak very eloquently about Jubilee's failure. You've heard other leaders also speak about it. So it is not just about Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga is just trying to reorganize his party as going forward to election, so that we don't end up in this mess of Jubilee. That now Jubilee itself has worked itself into a quagmire, and they want to bring in others to play.
And I want one Caleb Kositanyi to join in on this conversation, but before I do so, what is this that you're saying, the advertising of opposition? We hear that there was a heated meeting last week where some members of the central management team were saying they're not certain whether Raila Odinga is going to run. Some of them were a bit furious of how the party has been handling its activities since the handshake. How much of this is true, and what is the disquiet within Jubilee? I mean, within ODM?
I think we are just being live to reality that as a party, we are a democratic party, and we would like to allow anyone who wants to declare interest or intention to run for presidency, because we have several governors who are serving their second term, and they are almost, they'll be, their term will end at the end of the 2022. So if some of them had indicated and had shown interest that they want to run, so we don't want to make it like it is a decision that we have already handed over the ticket to the party leader or any individual, but we are allowing them also to come in and declare the intention so that the party can make a decision on that. And when we have one or two or three candidates declaring the interest, then we shall have our primaries to select who will be our flag bearer in the election of 2022.
But one Caleb Kositanyi here had alluded, or rather claimed that Raila Odinga will actually be the candidate. This is just a ploy. It is not true. This is not a democratic party to see to it that there is fair competition for the ticket. How much true is that, and how?
I am sure they are dying to have to compete with Raila, because they think that if Raila is not in the race, then the race will not be interesting, and they think that beating Raila for them it's a very big, I think something very big, and let them know that ODM is not Raila Odinga. ODM is a national party, and it has got members from all over the country. It has fielded candidates in every constituency in the country. So I believe that let them take it that whoever will come from ODM will be carrying the flag bearer of the party, and the party will support him fully.
Okay, all right. That is one Tim Wanyonyi, and of course he'll be rejoining the conversation in a few minutes as we try to reach Senator Isaac Mwaura. But how do you respond to what he's saying that your side of politics is just interested in having one Raila Odinga on the ballot?
It's not that we are interested in having one Raila Odinga. We know that our competitor will be Raila Odinga. And you can take this to the bank, and you can call me here once they are done with their process. And we hope they complete it as quickly as possible, because all along we've known that Raila Odinga will run for the presidency for the 5th time. And he's most welcome to compete against Deputy President William Ruto. And I still insist, Sam, that ODM cannot run away from the fact that they are part and parcel of the failures of the Jubilee administration since the handshake. How would you explain, Sam, that you are being asked to push for a referendum that we were being told, and these are figures that were given by IEBC, not they're not from William Ruto's side or from my side. The 14 billion is required for us to hold a referendum. We have COVID-19, which is ravaging the whole world. And yet we are still saying that it is okay. We've had people, we've had Raila Odinga saying it's okay. Doctors are dying, even other Kenyans are dying, but let us handle BBI issues first, and then we'll deal with COVID later. We have a huge debt ceiling right now in the debt portfolio in government. The chair of the finance committee in parliament is an ODM member. They kicked out Kemani Ichung'wah from the budget committee, gave it to a Jubilee member. They kicked out Honorable Limo from the finance committee, and Gladys Wanga is the chair. She should, and now this is how ODM is in government, and they are part and parcel. So they can't really run away now and say, we blame Jubilee for that, and as we are clean, we have not been part of the problem. They are part of the problem. They came in, and they actually helped Jubilee destroy itself with the help of other members of Jubilee. And we took a back seat and said, okay, fine, we have been pushed out. You remember when we went to the party headquarters, the Secretary General of the party actually calls a press conference to say that Deputy Party Leader is not welcome to the party headquarters. How much more do you want to be pushed out to know that it is ODM and these few guys in Jubilee who have been running the system?
That statement came after what the Secretary General claimed, that the DP was using the party headquarters to campaign for his 2022 bid, to hold some meetings with his faction. Is that the best way to use a headquarter of a party?
The headquarters is for politics. It's not for drinking tea and mandazi.
Politics or
no. How do you say faction? We are Jubilee. We are Jubilee. We formed this political party. We have a stake in it. We pay money to maintain, to pay rent and maintain these party officials. So how do you then tell us you have kicked us out because of an idea? And you see, this comfort that they had to talk arrogantly at us is because they had ODM in them. They had rewarded ODM for refusing to accept the presidency. I would like, I wish I was there when there was a negotiation before the handshake. What do you think was discussed between President Uhuru and Raila Odinga? Maybe Raila Odinga said, okay, I will stop the violence, protest, I will stop destruction of property if you give me a handshake and give us let us be part of government. Something like that must have happened, because what was the negotiation? What is this peace that United is talking about that was brought about by the handshake?
The president has consistently said that they never spoke about such, including talking about 2022. They didn't, according to him.
Well, that is what he has told us. And he has also told us many other things.
Without
But we were not the party of that. So I'm just saying what would have happened, what would have been the discussion that arrived at the handshake.
Okay.
What did ODM cede? They ceded, they must have ceded violence.
All right, you're talking about the politics of message and what Kenyans are hearing from their political class and what they would want to hear. I don't know what your concern is and what you'd want to see shaping the rest to 2022. You can text in your views via 2242 or Twitter at Citizen TV Kenya at Sam Gituko. The hashtag to use is Daybreak. Let's listen to what one Musalia Mudavadi alongside Wycliffe Oparanya and other leaders spoke about this entire conversation.
Tafadhali kama wa Kenya, tuko na mwaka moja na nusu. Let us not gamble. Let us not gamble. We have been gambling for too long. Mambo ya betting. Stop betting. Look for the right leadership. And I can tell you, I'm one of those that will qualify for that.
We are no longer looking for unity. Tayari sisi tuko pamoja. Tumeshakubaliana kwamba in 2022, kiongozi wetu ni mmoja. Vile Wajaluo wako na kiongozi mmoja anaitwa Raila. Vile Wakamba wako na kiongozi mmoja anaitwa Kalonzo. Vile Wakalenjin wako na kiongozi mmoja anaitwa Ruto. Sisi Waluya ni lazima tuwe na kiongozi mmoja anaitwa Musalia Mudavadi.
Nchi hii wewe huwezi kusema utakuwa kiongozi kutumia kabila lako peke yako. Paka ushirikiane na wengine.
Na msisuie William kwa kaunti ya kabila yake. Mumzuie kwa kaunti ya siasa zake. Siasa zake sio sawa.
Those are different leaders who spoke over the weekend about the politics and the focus of 2022 and what they think should be determining the messaging. We're waiting for Senator Isaac Mwaura. Do we have Senator? And Tim, when you listen to this, and of course, one Raila Odinga and his team have been, or rather, questioning the narrative by William Ruto and his supporters in as far as the hustlers narrative and saying that this is likely to cause a class war. Well, one of them is here, so they'll be telling us what that is about. But when you look at it, of course, there are many concerns, and the economic situation of citizens is one of the biggest challenges. How do you suggest, if at all you are opposed to the hustlers narrative, how do you suggest that this is handled? Because, I mean, it's the season of politics, and Kenyans will have to decide whether they like it or not. How do you suggest that you reach out to them on what is could be the solution to the challenges they face today?
I think what we have is that, government come to power promising to improve the quality of life of people. And also they come with programs which they are supposed to implement. Jubilee promised several things which they were supposed to bring to Kenyans. And we expected that if those promises were fulfilled, if they implemented the things they had promised Kenyans, I'm very sure that at this point, the section of Jubilee will not be coming up promising Kenyans other things other than what they had promised in the election. And they have been in the government all along. These things could have been done. They will have implemented. It's create opportunities for young Kenyans so that they can feel that the government is doing something for them, but not come up with things that are not realistic, things that are not able, you are not even able to sustain them, and also decreting what you had promised to something very, 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 very low in terms of economic persuasion. And I believe that the narrative that is being branded by the Tanga team, this hustler, it could be their slogan to election to woo Kenyans because of the situation that has happened. We are coming from COVID, and the economic has actually been very, very much battered. So it looks very enticing to those young Kenyans who are jobless. But to me, that is not a lasting solution for us. We need, as a country, to make progress in development and bring on issues that can advance our economy and also bring Kenyans to the young Kenyans to feel that the government is creating opportunities for them to fit.
But Honorable Tim Wanyonyi, it's been more than 50 years, actually. Is it 58 years since independent Kenya? That is in 1963. And every other government that has been elected has made its promises. The so-called Tanga Tanga team is just giving their message. And I'm just wondering, even as you said that Kenyans need solid policies, what are those? What are those policies that you would be offering Kenyans as the alternative message?
I'll take an example of President Kibaki when he was in power for the 10 years. The president created, there were policies that were created by government that you could see the economy was working. And when you see, when the economy is working, Kenyans will have money in their pocket, the business will thrive, and many other things will take place. And we saw infrastructure being coming up, and that coming up, you know, people get employment. And, you know, the government has got no enough resources to give people employment, but it creates opportunities for people to fit in the economy and find their way of you know, doing their own things, investing. Investors will come in and all the other things. Okay. But we are looking at it that the government must always be live to the situation that they must create opportunities for Kenyans to fit in the economy and also to make their ends meet. Not just coming up.
That's what I'm asking.
The one thing that we always do, and the government, after government, come to promising free things. You should never promise people free things. Promise people that will create opportunities for them to make their ends meet.
That's what I'm asking. What is that alternative message that you'll be selling to Kenyans? Because what you just said is to explain...
As ODM or what?
Yes, as ODM, because what you have just said is to exemplify what went on during the Kibaki administration.
No, but I'm not going to draw our message to in comparative to what Tanga Tanga are selling. Of course, when we come up, we'll come up with a manifesto and things that will improve the economy and also make Kenya thrive. Not just promising wheelbarrows and mkokotenis.
And Caleb Kositanyi, before you take a short break, so now, of course, your message has been attacked as one that could lead to class war. I don't know whether that's possible or it's true or not, but whatever the case, all these conversations you've been having around, saying that you're providing wheelbarrows and saying that a wheelbarrow is an important tool, whether it's being used as metaphorically or in actual sense, but how sustainable would such kind of thinking economically be?
Well, you know, Sam, that anybody who is against the hustler and the wheelbarrow narrative is actually missing the point. Or actually they have gotten what exactly we mean and they know we are on the right track, but they want to distract us. What we actually mean when we talk about the hustler nation is that it's about empowerment. It's about giving hope to those who come from underprivileged families that they can work hard, they can hustle, and one day they will be on the decision-making table of this country. So that is why we come up with the wheelbarrow, because it's a tool. It's a tool that is used in every other activity in the home state. And in fact, to build this magnificent offices of Citizen TV, a wheelbarrow was used at some stage. So what we are saying is we want to empower people. We want to give hope to those people who are underprivileged, that one day they will become great people if they work hard, trust in God, and believe in their dreams. So that is the issue that we are propagating. Anybody you see that is comfortable with this...
But how exactly, Caleb Kositanyi? Because when you look at the people who depend on the tools you're talking about, they sort of live hand to mouth. If whatever kibarua they have is off the table, then they're done. They don't know what...
Yes, and that is why we are telling them, most of these people you see in what you are calling the Tanga Tanga movement are people who came from underprivileged families like them. Their parents were nobodies. They have been known because of themselves. So we are just telling these guys, it doesn't matter what your economic situation is now, but you can become like these other fellows if you work. because we're going to empower them. We're going to discuss their issues. And that is why it is, the Hustler movement is resonating well with the common wananchi, because they're saying, now we are being told Mama Mboga, we are being told Mutu wa Mkokoteni, Mutu wa Wheelbarrow, Mutu wa Boda Boda, we are going to our issues are going to be discussed first before we discuss issues at the top. And Sam, let me say this. Any leader who is uncomfortable with this Hustler nation and the Wheelbarrow narrative is a tribal leader. These are people who have been depending on their tribes to propel them. Look at the clip you just played. Musalia Mudavadi making a very good comment, accompanied by Savula and the senator of Kakamega, 3 members from one county. You have Raila Odinga moving around with Junet, because Junet is from Migori, but he's not Luo, but that is the only non-Nini that he would move around with. But when you see the Tanga, you see Kenya. You see Kenya, we have members from Central Province, we have members from Rift Valley, we have members from Coast, we have members of parliament from all over the country. So we are building a non-tribal movement called the Hustler Nation.
The question I'm asking, because you said that there are several members of parliament or politicians who came from nothing to where they are now. At any given time, you can only have 349 members of the National Assembly. You can only have 67 senators. You can only have 1,450 elected MCAs, and nominations maybe between 700 and 800. You can only have 47 governors. So this makes a pool of about, if I'm not mistaken, not more than 3,000 politicians. So, but the so-called hustlers or people that leave hand to mouth, there are so many. So how will just the promise that you're going to discuss your issues propel them to economic success? You know,
Sam, and you put it very clear that since for the last 58 years, people have been promising things. What we intend to do as the Hustler Nation administration is that during the budget making process, where you allocate resources for various issues, development issues, we are going to allocate resources to uplift the lives of these people. So that is where we are going to come in. We cannot all say that we are going to be in parliament. So we are going to allocate resources through the budget making process such that we are going to have programs that are going to uplift the lives of the common wananchi. And if we may not help all, we will have helped some. And those we will have helped will go and uplift others. So it's going to be a chain reaction thing. So it's not about having all of them get key positions, but the budget making process during the Hustler Nation movement is going to be about Mama Mboga, it's going to be about the Boda Boda guy, it's going to be about these people who are being called Takataka. They are not going to be Takataka, they are going to be people who are going to be making decisions, and decisions are going to be made that are going to touch on their livelihood.
Caleb Kositany, so much feedback coming through, of course, as you continue this conversation with one Tim Wanyonyi, Member of Parliament for Westlands. I'll be reading some of the feedback which is coming through Citizen TV on Twitter at Sam Gituku with hashtag Daybreak, but also through SMS 22422. I'm told that we have the feedback. We can look at some of those tweets, beginning with who? This is Khalif Mzalendo. You said that, please tell Honorable Kositany, it was Raila Odinga who agreed to play second fiddle and make Mwai Kibaki president in 2002. The democracy and multipartyism he enjoys much today was largely fought for by the Enigma. Engineer Lazaro, Honorable Kositany, DP Ruto trying to isolate the president by running away from the regime failures while still holding that big office is reckless and malicious. Let's stop confusing Kenyans. And Amwai Brian, you said the handshake had a different agenda, which was to unite a country that had been divided. Jubilee had a manifesto and an agenda since 2013 of it. It had planned its execution properly. If it had planned its execution properly, they would not be blaming the handshake for their failure. That is Amwai Brian. And continue to send in your feedback. We'll be sampling some of them after the break.